Gambia with Tamala, the fi Amamut Fenen. Sama mam that I'm a one night, Jamareka war. When you polo, don't bena, can do your moon a dara. Reume sunyu reula, and yepa and the joke. Nunglinyan, Jamas sunyu reu. Sapante to Japante, Moy sunyu warre. Burialanyu, Gelinyan, the summer sunyu digante. Nyeplamang kutte don a ben lolu, laughing mommy by you born. Nyeplamang kutte don a ben and Jamu Gambia.
Jotali makas bilel tanghal masindal biwai bonyi be nga nuyul masa papa wai oyal ma aji wako mata nena awane ñu magal tobaski ji wai genaaw elek noel su passé ba ñu tek ci ñaari semaine sang mari la tam lolu lañ fi xam ben baat lolu lañu am juróom ñaari nit ci ben bool lolu lañu xam arjodo ga tambi nang nuyul masa papa ankira jam bulma jam jama lañ fi am amut hette amut diine lolu lañ fi bàyyi woon dama ne lolu lañ fi bàyyi woon
Good morning. Good afternoon if you're in the UK, but if you're around the GMT area, good morning to you. I hope you all were able to sleep last night, because definitely I haven't. I haven't been able to sleep at all. So basically, we are at a position where every single person is actually on edge because nobody knows exactly what is happening, and people are just really in doubt. Some are hoping for a positive outcome, while some are preparing themselves for the worst. But quite honestly, we know as a matter of fact, most definitely, that the DNA results is going to be read today in open court. If you have been following my updates and my analysis on this matter, you would have realized that the yesterday was when we expected that the DNA results will be opened and read out, and the courts and all of us would have found out exactly what was contained in that result. However, by some unexpected twist, that didn't happen, and definitely a lot of people were disappointed, including myself, and we had to wait one more day. Well, finally, we're here. It's another day, and I can assure you and I could tell you that the judge has just entered the courtroom, and proceedings are just about to begin. We are expecting the state to enter representation for the the state prosecutors to enter representation for the state, and we are expected that the defense lawyer Ellis Camara will announce his representation for the accused person, which is Mr. Bob Keita. So stay tuned. I'm going to give you, as promised, live commentaries coming from Banjul at the High Court of the Gambia on Independence Drive. And we will definitely know what is the situation. And I can assure you that if the results comes out positive, and it is deemed that Bob Keita is the father of the child, then this is just the start of the process, because the defense will now have to open their team. The prosecution would close their case, and the defense would then have to open their defense. So we will just see a start of the trial. However, if the results comes out negative, then we could be assured that the state will file a nulli. It's called a nulli prosecute, which basically means a discontinuance of the criminal trial. A discontinual in the criminal trial, and that Bob will be acquitted and discharged, and he would be free to go home as a free man. So basically, that's where we are at the moment. So just stay tuned and just pay attention whilst I bring the live commentary. So at this point, the state is entering representation for the state. The state prosecutors have entered representation for the state, and the defense lawyers have just announced their representation for the defense team, and the court we're expected to get on with the business of the day. So really, I should say we are there. We are at that point now. It's the wait is over, and we will know. We will definitely know exactly where we are, exactly what is our position, and going forward, we will all be informed. Basically, sorry, let me just adjust my seat properly. So basically, what are we expecting? What are we expecting from this DNA result? I have always mentioned that the results can only come in three different dimensions. Three different dimensions. Three different dimensions. So one would be where Bob Keita, the results would show that Bob Keita is indeed the father of the baby, baby M, the baby who we know has died and passed away tragically, or that the boyfriend, Mr. John, will be declared as the father, or the very remote instance where I've given. I know a lot of people have laughed when I have said this, but where the results would show that neither Bob nor the boyfriend, the alleged boyfriend, is the father of this child. So definitely, these are the three logical outcomes, the three plausible outcomes that can ever come out from this DNA result. So one, Bob Keita is the father. No, Bob Keita is not the father. Two, Mr. John is the father. No, Mr. John is not the father. And the third one, which is neither of them are the father to this baby. And right now, as we speak, Superintendent Edward Kofi Aban has been called to take the stand yet again. We know the state was actually, yesterday, he was actually leading witness for the state. So he has just been asked to take the stand, and he will, of course, he will be reminded of his oath that he did yesterday, and he will proceed with his testimony. So that's where we are at this moment. Superintendent Edward Kofi Aban has actually taken the stand, the witness stand. We all know Superintendent Aban is PW10, is the 10th prosecution witness for the state. And we believe that yesterday we saw that he opened the DNA test results. The seal were broken, 3 separate envelopes, 3 separate sealed documents. All were opened before the public, before the courts, in open court. But by some twist, he was asked not to read the results out by the presiding judge. We saw that Patrick Gomez, the state counsel, the lead state counsel, senior state counsel of the Ministry of Justice, had actually wanted Superintendent Aban to read out the results, but he was stopped by the presiding judge, who said that the results should not be read in open court, and that things may go and that really the results should not be read. So eventually, before the adjournment of yesterday's sitting, we know that he gave instructions, and he ordered that the results, the content of the DNA results should be shared to both parties. So I can accurately tell you that it was shared to the defense, and also the prosecution is aware. So basically that's where we are, and we're just waiting now. We're just waiting. We know that today the things will be really fast, because most definitely, the matter really would come to some sort of either a conclusion as to the end of the trial, or either a conclusion for the prosecution's case, where either the defense will open their defense and start their own case, or the matter, a nollie will be filed, it will discontinue the matter, charges against Bob Keita will be dropped, and that would be the end of story. So really, we are on cue, and I'm bringing you the live updates as it unfolds at the High Court of the Gambia in Banjul. So I will ask the technical team to play an interlude of music whilst we wait for the results to be announced.
I am you are me. We are day are we. we are Gambia. I am you, you are me, we are there, we are Gambia. Let us share love and care for each other. We are one, nothing to despise. Let's put a smile on each other's face to keep us strong. If you lead us well. 'Cause if you fail, we fail too. If you teach me right. 'Cause if I fail, you fail too.
Now is Superintendent Aban has taken the stand, and we know that yesterday LS Camara the defense wanted to make an objection to the tendering of evidence. However, the presiding judge has now just asked Professor Aban has just asked the defense counsel LS Camara to come up with his objection, but LS Camara has told the court that he does not wish to object anymore, that he's got nothing to say because everything else has been overtaken by events. So this is where we are. And the reason I will try to explain to you why LS has taken that position, because yesterday, if you remembered, Professor Aban, whilst giving testimony and whilst the state was seeking to admit the evidence, LS got up and wanted to object. But then the presiding judge said that he was going to overrule the objection of LS, and therefore LS could not proceed with the objection. However, LS has just been called right now in court to object, but he has stated that he is not going to object, and that that events and things have been overtaken by events, meaning that the objection really is no more necessary. Also, I can tell you as a matter of fact that I have just received information from Banjul that the state of the Gambia has now filed a nolle prosequi to discontinue the criminal trial against Bob Keita. I mean, all indications are that really the DNA results will be read in open court. But the fact that LS has said that he is not going to object, the defense have said that they are not objecting, that it has been overtaken by events, can only lead to one simple conclusion, and that is Bob Keita is not the father of baby Muhammad, and therefore the state have already filed, they have already served the defense with their intention to discontinue the case, with their intention to drop all charges against Bob Keita. And Bob Keita, we know, most certainly, most definitely will go home today, will join his family today, and we know this as a matter of fact. And it is absolutely amazing. The situation is electric in the Gambia right now in the courtroom. I mean, I know people are trying to contain themselves because it's a court of law. So really, to be honest, we're just waiting now for what I would say is just basically formalities for the DNA results to be announced. And I can assure you, as a matter of fact, that Bob Keita is not the father of baby Muhammad. I will repeat, Bob Keita is not the father of baby Muhammad. The paternity test, the DNA results have indicated that there is no way, no probability whatsoever that he is the father of baby Muhammad. And therefore, LS, the defense, have decided not to object to the admission of this evidence. And we also know that the state has filed, as we speak, the state has filed a nolle prosequi against the person of Bob Keita. Amazing. I mean, we all hope and pray that today after 3 years, after 3 grueling years where a man has been subjected to all manner of both mental, physical, and emotional torture and harm, today he will be going home. He will be joining his family. He is and will be declared a free man by the state of the Gambia, and of course by extension by the High Court of the Gambia, which has the jurisdiction to actually proclaim him a free man. So definitely it is indeed an amazing moment, and very soon I'll be joined by my team in Banjul, who will bring you live updates from the courthouse. And if I might add, that indeed we know by some twist of fate as well. I had always said, if you have been following me on my live updates, on my analysis in this matter, that there are only three avenues that can happen. Is that one, is that Bob Keita can be the father or not, and that is one angle. Or the boyfriend will be the father or not, and that is another angle. Or neither of them will be the father. And I can tell you today, authoritatively, that the DNA results, as read, as presented, the DNA results that was generated from Ghana based on the test that was done in Ghana, neither Bob Keita nor the boyfriend is the father of baby Muhammad. I mean, I have always said this, but it is unbelievable. I never imagined that it will happen that way. I never imagined. The state has just filed the nulli, but however, the judge just wants to discharge. He just wants to discharge Bob Keita. He just wants to be done with it. The state wants to do a formal application, but the judge is now trying to say that no, he just wants to discharge Bob Keita and the matter be done with. But LS Camara is actually pushing for not only a discharge, but an acquittal and discharge. He wants an acquittal and discharge. And even though, yes, the presiding judge, for some strange reason, as we speak right now, is trying to fast track things, he just wants to discharge Bob Keita, but the defense is insisting, and rightly so. LS Camara is insisting in the High Court of the Gambia at this moment in the criminal trial between Bob Keita and the state that his client should not only be discharged, but his client should be acquitted and discharged. And that is the right thing so to do. So really, this is what we know so far, coming from Banjul, coming from the High Court of the Gambia in Banjul. So I will repeat that again, that the state has already filed, the nulli prosecute against Bob Keita, the person of Bob Keita, and that Bob Keita has been deemed not to be the father of baby Muhammad. And as we speak right now, the state wants to discharge Bob Keita, but the defense is not taking that, and the defense wants Bob Keita to both be acquitted and discharged. So this is where we are right now. The judge is now, as we speak, is writing. We don't know what he's writing down. It's his job to have everything recorded in court, so we know definitely that is exactly what he's up to. He's recording. We don't know what he's recording, but the position of the defense is that Bob Keita should be acquitted and discharged at this point. We'll take a short break, and then I will join you back in a minute. Just a short break, and then I'll come back live from Banjul.
I am you are me. We are they, and they are we. We are Gambia. I am you are me. We are they, and we are Gambia. Let us share love and care for each other. We are one, nothing into the skies. Let's put a smile on each other's face to keep us strong. If you lead us well. 'Cause if you fail, we fail too. If you teach me right. 'Cause if I fail, you fail too. Pick the one from the ground. Together we can build Gambia. For the Gambia, our homeland. We strive and walk and pray day. Time I believe in unity and peace today. So is it in our time? Let's be a world. So is it in our time? Let's be a world. So is it in our time? Let's be a world. So is it in our time? Help us love in the way. Gambia, smile. Gambia, see you. If you lead us well. 'Cause if you fail, we fail too. If you teach me right. 'Cause if I fail, you fail too. And you and me and they are we are.
Good afternoon, wherever you are. We are here doing a live commentary from the High Court in Banjul. Just before that short break, I heard indicated that Professor Superintendent Aban, the last prosecution witness, PW10, was asked to take the stand. He was asked to he was reminded of his oath again, and of course, the judge, the presiding judge, had then instructed and asked the defense counsel lawyer Ellis Lamin S. Camara to carry on with his objection, which was where matters ended yesterday, where he wanted to object, and the judge had said that if he objected, he was going to overrule his objection. So he was asked now, strangely, to object now, to come up with his objection. And of course, he informed the court that he has no intention to object because it has been overtaken by events. Remember, yesterday, the judge also ordered that that the defense and the prosecution both be served with what we know is the results and the contents of the DNA results as done in Ghana. And so, of course, now as we speak, Ellis, of course, had no intention. He says he does not want to object, but that can tell you, because what it means is that Ellis knew from yesterday afternoon when he was served with these processes what the outcome would be and what the results is. And now the DNA results has just been admitted into evidence in court, and one of the lawyers of the defense team has just gone on to Bob Keita, where he showed Bob Keita the contents of the DNA results before it was admitted. And of course, my reports from the ground is that Bob smiled, and then it sent waves, through the courtroom, and everybody could tell when they saw that smile on the face of Bob Keita that it was over, that this is the end of this matter, that this trial definitely has come to an end, and we are just seeing the very final bits. The finishing touches are being put to what really, by all accounts, has been a trial that has gripped the entire nation and has left the entire country on edge. Yes, I could just feel it, feel that atmosphere of of Bob Keita being showed the DNA results by one of the defense lawyers, and Bob Keita having a broad, wide smile in court, and that just sent shockwaves all over. And now, as we speak, the presiding judge has just announced in court that the state has indeed filed a nollie prosecute to discontinue the criminal trial against Bob Keita, the intention to withdraw all charges, the intention to withdraw the indictment that has been filed against Bob Keita in the criminal trial of Bob Keita and the state, where he was standing for being accused of one ground of single count of rape. And definitely, this is what it is. And the presiding judge, the state has now asked that the results be read out in open court, because we all know that up to this point, the results have not been read. Yes, it has been opened in open court. We know the state has filed a nollie prosecute to discontinue the matter. However, the results were not read in open court, and the state has just now made an application for the results to be read out in open court, so that the entire court would know the contents of that result. So really, it is just really amazing that we have now come to this sort of a conclusion. And I will just explain quickly the difference between acquittal and discharge. I explained that the judge wanted to discharge. When you discharge a client, you're just discharging the client because probably you don't have enough evidence to prosecute the client. But when you acquit and discharge, it means that it is a judgment being entered that the individual, the person cannot be, because remember, if you're just discharged, you can be brought to court again and be tried again when there are new evidences or things come out. But that is not going to happen in this case. They are pushing for an acquittal where the innocence of Bob Keita will be based on the overall totality of the matter of the case that is before the High Court of the Gambia. So this is where we are. And as I said to you that the nollie prosecute has been filed, the processes have been filed in court. The judge has just informed the court that the state has filed the nollie, which is basically to discontinue this matter against Bob. But by a brilliant, I would love to commend hands down the brilliance of the lead state counsel, lawyer Patrick Gomez. He has now asked the court that no, before we enter into the part of the nollie, let us read out the contents of the results for the benefit of people who are in court, to the hearing of everybody. Yes, the defense team is aware. Yes, Bob Keita is now aware of the results. The prosecution is aware, but the people in court need to hear what is the contents of this result. So that is where we are right now, and it's just amazing. To be honest, I have had the what should I say, the most nerve-wracking 12 hours, because I can confirm now with absolute authority that I knew the entire results. I knew the results once the result was served, once the processes were served to the defense team, the defense lawyer. I knew what the results were. But then, of course, as a professional, as a lawyer, I had to wait for the courts to make the announcement. And it was so hard. Can you imagine? I was on Facebook Live. I was so emotional. I was talking, yet still, I had to suppress myself. I couldn't say anything. And just keep quiet, basically, and just let things flow as it was. But to be honest, this is really an amazing day, an amazing time. And we are just waiting now. We are just waiting now to see exactly what is going to happen with regards this matter. But all indications are that Bob Keita will be joining his family, his lovely mother who is waiting. I spoke to her last night and she said to me, Melville, I can't sleep. I said, go to bed and sleep. He said, no, I can't sleep. She was talking about what she wanted to cook today, how she knows a lot of people are going to come to the house and she wants to do this food item or that. I said to her, you know what? Just go to bed and sleep. and everything will be all right. And most definitely, most certainly today, we are going to see that Bob Keita is going to go home. I do not know of any avenues left whereby the courts would extend this trial for even another hour or another day. Sorry, let me just take a sip of water. I'm so thirsty right now. Oh, that wasn't water, that was apple juice. But anyways, really, if you're just joining us now, the state of the Gambia has just filed a discontinuance of the criminal matter against Bob Keita. Bob Keita, the state has filed a nolle prosequi to discontinue the case against the criminal case against Bob Keita. We're expected that Bob Keita will be acquitted and discharged by the High Court of the Gambia, and we are also expecting that Bob Keita would be able to join his family today, will be able to go home today and be reunited with his mother. And with it is just amazing. It just feels wonderful. It just feels good. It's just amazing. It's an amazing feeling, and I just hope everybody else. I know people were calling and people were telling me they can't sleep. They have been on edge. Everybody has been on edge. Everybody has been concerned. There has not been a case, there has not been a matter in our court that have got such public attention, a matter that has got no political affiliation. It's just genuine people wanting to see the fair and equitable dispensation of justice. A people, a nation that wanted just to know and be assured that really we can still believe in the justice delivery system of the Gambia. All that we're asking for is a credible process. A process that is credible, a process that is guided by what is laid down, principles of law, acceptable by all. This was all we wanted. This was all people wanted, and some of us believed and knew from the very start that Bob Keita was innocent. We knew that. We knew that beyond the shadow of doubt, and we have said it over and over and over again, that we will stand by him because we believed in his innocence. We said we would stand by him because we do not believe in the very illogical notion that as long as a person comes up with an accusation, that person is truthful and that person is honest and that person is credible. We don't believe in that. We will refuse to allow ourselves to foolishly believe in something like that. So therefore today it is joy, it is joyful, it is indeed a proud moment for every single person involved in this matter. Every person, every individual that has been advocating, that has been bringing to the forefront this matter. It is really a joyful day. It is really a joyful ending. But I want to say something for the record, that before anything, we should give thanks and praise to the Almighty God, because it is only the doing of God. It is only, if you have been following this case from the very beginning, you would know and you will accept that it is God that intervened in this matter. It is God, the Almighty, God the Father, God and nobody else but God Almighty that intervened in this matter. And therefore we should give thanks, foremost thanks to God Almighty, because definitely all glory and praise belongs to him. So definitely we are just now waiting to see what would be the actual ruling or judgment of Justice S.M. Jallow. What would be his declaration in open court now? The state have now said that they do not wish to continue with this matter. They have said that all charges against Bob Keita will be dropped. They're not willing to explore anything. So we're just waiting now to see what Justice S.M. Jallow will come up with. Tech, if you can just give us a little break. So Nene, we are having live updates now from the High Court of the Gambia in Banjul. This is it. This is the moment. This is definitely the moment, that moment. And if you can switch your camera if you can turn your camera so we can actually see exactly, so people can have a feel of what is going on inside that courtroom. Can you do that for us, Nene? Well, we know that Gambia, the internet in Gambia, the internet connection in Gambia is not as phenomenal, but we pray and hope that we will be able to get there. Nene is struggling to come up with a live feed because of the because of the connection inside the courtroom. However, if we are successful, we will bring her in, and you will have the live updates as as Bob Keita is being declared a free man from the High Court of the Gambia in Banjul. Tech, if you can just play an interlude of music whilst we try to see if we can reach Nene for that live coverage. Thank you.
Key Stars Records.
It has just been declared in open court. The results have been read that Bob Keita is not the father. I am told that people are fainting in the court, in the High Court of the Gambia. I am told that the moment is electric and it's emotional. People are crying. People are fainting. The celebration is ongoing in the court, and in fact, it is the defense team that is now trying to get people in the court to be orderly, to call them into order. It's just a very emotional atmosphere. We're definitely trying to come on live, and so that you could just have a feel of that moment. You know, but of course, we know, because it's the High Court, I know this for sure myself, because I've been there, that the reception is not really good in the High Court of the Gambia. And usually when you're in there, you cannot have good reception. So Nene is struggling to actually come on live. But even if we cannot come on live, we can assure you that immediately that we can get her in, we will do that. But definitely, it has been declared that Bob Keita is not the father. And not only has it been declared that Bob Keita is not the father, it has also been determined that the boyfriend is also not the father. Nene, can you show us? Can you just flip your camera to show us a feel of what is happening in the courtroom? If you can hear me, can you just flip your camera around? Nene, if you can hear me, can you flip your camera around? Internet in the Gambia. Internet in the Gambia. Internet in the Gambia.
Let me just turn the camera and just give you a
Yes, please turn the camera. Just turn the camera. Even if we can't hear you, just turn the camera for now, so you can give us a feel of the moment of what is happening in court, in the High Court in Banjul. Can you please bring Nene on? She's trying to turn the camera. She's flipping her camera around. If you can bring her on, if she's still there. She's trying to flip her camera around. I've told her she need not say anything at this point. I just want the audience to have a feel of exactly what is going on in the courtroom in Banjul. But I think we've lost Nene there. So really, this is what we are getting. This is what is happening at this moment. They have now read in open court. Who would have thought, who would have expected, who would have imagined that this would be the conclusion of this matter? Who would have thought, in fact, even me, myself, even when I mentioned it a few times, that remotely, the other plausible outcome could be that neither of them, neither the boyfriend nor Bob Keita would be the father. But I did not even, at that point of saying it, I did not even think or see the probability of it happening. But to the shock of everyone, to everyone's dismay, to everyone's utter surprise, neither the boyfriend or Bob Keita is the father of baby Muhammad. Now, what this implies really, in all honesty and sincerity, is that the alleged victim, in fact, I will not call her an alleged victim. She is not a victim. It has now been declared that she is not a victim in the regard of Bob Keita or the boyfriend. Yes, she may be a victim to somebody else. She may be a victim to someone out there who we do not know, and only her. She is the only person, the only individual that can speak and say who that person is. So what this means is that there's a criminal out there. There's a criminal who's going free, because we all know the child was a minor at this point, and so whoever is responsible for that pregnancy has committed an offense of statutory rape. So definitely there is a rapist out there. There is somebody who has committed an act, who's out there that we don't know. But by going by the results that have been presented and tendered in court as evidence by the prosecution, Bob Keita is not the father. The boyfriend, Mr. John, is not the father. The state has entered a nulli, which is basically saying they're discontinuing the criminal trial against Bob Keita. And as we stand, this is the situation from Banjul. And the results have just been read in open court. We are told that people are fainting, that people are crying, people are jubilating, that the emotions are high. Everybody in the courtroom is going wild. They are trying to get the court in order so that they can proceed. So basically, this is where we are. I wanted to ensure that you have live, real-time updates of exactly what has been going on, and this is it for us. And really, we are just waiting now for the icing on the cake, and that would be for the judge to make his pronouncements on the matter of Bob Keita and the state of the Gambia. An exceptional case, a case that would go on in the history of the Gambia, a case that would revitalize, a case that would revamp, that would bring a complete overhaul to the justice delivery system of the Gambia, a case that lessons have been learned from all arms of government, from every single person, be it from a legal point, from a factual point, from a moral point, from a spiritual point. Everybody has learned, even from a societal point of view. We have seen a Gambia that Gambians that have come together and have united in one cause, regardless of party affiliation, regardless of ethnic affiliation, regardless of religious affiliation. They have come together, different tribes, different people from different backgrounds, different walks of life. They have come together to advocate for, to fight that justice be done in this matter. And truly, justice has been served. Justice has finally been served in this matter. Yes, people can argue, people can say that justice has not been served in the sense that he was behind bars, his business was brought to zero. But I believe that everything will happen again I believe that this gentleman will rise up again. I believe that whatever has been taken from him, he will have much, much more. And I believe that this is a lesson. This is something that has changed his life forever. And this is something that is absolutely, absolutely exceptional. So really, 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 justice. We have seen justice, but whether it came from the Almighty God, right now, the court cannot proceed. The court cannot proceed because it is an absolute mess in the courtroom. Everybody is jumping. Everybody is doing whatever it is that they want to do. Justice S.M. Jallo at this point has lost control of his court. He's trying to get control of the courtroom, but he has completely lost control of the courtroom at this point. And really, really, this is what we are seeing. So honestly, this is amazing, amazing, amazing. I am getting the judge is wanting the expert Professor Aban to break the results down, but people are not having it. People are not interested. They said people are saying they are not interested on what the breakdown is. They don't want to know. They don't care. People are saying, and the judge is struggling. For the first time, we are seeing, and I just want people to stop calling me. If you know I'm on live, can you just please stop calling me because you're distracting me? And I don't like that. You know, I'm getting reports that people want to call in. Yes, give me some time. I'll have to speak to the tech guy to know if this is possible and if people can call in. I know there are a lot of requests of people wanting to join in. So give me a minute. I'll speak to the tech guy and see if this is possible. He can hear me. So Joe, if this is possible, send me a message. Let me know. A lot of people want to call in. They want to contribute. But I'm just saying that right now, Professor I keep calling him Professor, Justice S.M. Jallo, for a moment, lost control of his court because people were just all over the place. People were in celebratory mood. People were jumping. People were fainting. You know, we're told that really nobody's interested. Justice Jallo wants Superintendent Aban to break down the report, explain what is in the report. People are not having it. People are not having it. All people want right now is to see Bob Keita walk out of that courtroom as a free man. And this is what they want, and this is what they're pushing for. So I'll ask the technical team to take a break right now, bring you some little bit of music, good music, listen in, and then I will try to see if we can manage to get people on board and if people can call. So but remember, we are not stopping. We're coming back. I'm coming back 8 o'clock live, 8 o'clock. I'm gonna have Bob Keita right on this platform at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock. This is what we believe. 8 o'clock Gambian time, and there we will take all the calls. We will allow people to call in. We will allow people to contribute. I mean, it's not going to be an analysis. It's just going to be a celebration of life, a celebration, a thanksgiving, just saying thank you to God. Thank you to everybody that have done phenomenal in ensuring this day comes to pass. I mean, different people, Ajifanta, Mama Sally, Amina Jan, our Seka, Ndei Fatima Jame, Seku Jeng. I mean, Dr. Tech, everybody, people I cannot name, Omar Wali. I mean, it has just been Duka Sise, Dr. J. Sise. I mean, everybody, Professor Power and Prophetess Power, people, every single person. I mean, Seinabu Ture, you know, I can't just even call everybody. I can't remember everyone, but it's just been an amazing team, a fantastic team. People who believed in the innocence of Bob Keita, people who believe that no matter what, even if Bob Keita were to declare that he was guilty by the court, they were still going to stand by him. This is an amazing moment. This is a brilliant moment. The feeling, oh my God, the feeling. I have learned also one thing myself. I have learned something that Gambians can't keep a secret. I mean, we all know that the results were supplied, but immediately people got an idea of what the results were. Everybody was trying to to break the news. There was breaking news all over. I mean, I knew what the results was. I spoke to the lead counsel of the defense team, LS Camara, yesterday when he called me. We spoke at length. We even discussed his move that he would, the move that he was going to take today in court. But I had to shut my mouth. I had to wait for the courts to declare the results. I had to wait. I knew from yesterday that the intention of the state obviously would be to file a discontinuance of this matter, but I was not at liberty to say it. I was not at liberty to speak. As a lawyer, I had to maintain my professional standards. I had to keep my mouth shut and just wait for the courts to declare what we now all know, that Bob Keita is indeed not the father of baby Muhammad, and neither is the boyfriend the father of baby Muhammad. And finally, the state have intimated that Dega, honestly, Bob Keita, dafa nyibitay. Bobu mom is fixed. Bobu mom, amut laha laha. He's going home. So, Joe, if you can just get an interlude of music whilst I try to speak to Nene and see if we can have her come on to join us. Joe, I don't know if you're around, but if you can just bring some music.
I am you are me, we are they are we are Gambia. I am you are me, we are they are we are Gambia. Let us share love and care for each other. We are one, nothing to despise. Let's put a smile on each other's face to keep us strong. If you lead us well. 'Cause if you fail, we fail too. If you teach me right. 'Cause if I fail, you fail too. Pick the one from the ground. Together we can build Gambia. For the Gambia, our homeland. We stand and walk and pray day. Not only live in unity and peace today. So is it in our time? Let's be a word. So is it in our time? Let's be a word. So is it in our time? Let's be a word. So is it in our time? Help us love with grace. Gambia, smile. Gambia, see you. If you lead us well. 'Cause if you fail, we fail too. If you teach me right. 'Cause if I fail, you fail too. And you and me, we are they are we are.
Definitely, Bob Keita is not the father of baby Muhammad. The state of the Gambia has filed a nollie showing their positioning in this matter, in that they do not wish to pursue a criminal charge against Bob Keita on a single count of rape, which he was standing trial for. And this has been going on for about 3 years since he was charged. And we know that definitely, we have come to a logical end of this program. what we've decided to do is we're going to end this part. We're going to have a part 2. We're going to end this part of the program now, and we'll have a part 2 immediately. Bob is declared a free man by the courts, and we know he is a free man factually, but we're just waiting for the courts to acquit and discharge Bob Keita. And then, of course, we will be out of the courtroom. It will be outside, and then we will have a better reception, and then we will join you all for that part 2, where we will have him. And definitely, we're going to have the analysis and or celebration live at 8 o'clock. So please share, please be informed. At 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. Gambian time, we will be on, and we will bring you live updates with Bob Keita in the house, in the home of Bob Keita, with his mom and family and everybody celebrating. So thank you so much for joining me. It's an amazing moment. We all deserve to be happy. I'm raising a glass to this day and just thanking God for everything that has happened. So I thank you all for joining me. It's been amazing, and the interactions have been great, and we are all, we have all learned from this case, and we all hopefully would become better individuals going forward. So really, Bob Keita is not the father. The DNA results have been read. The state have filed the interest of not pursuing. They filed and indicated the interest of not pursuing this matter, and all criminal charge against Bob Keita will has been basically been dropped, and that he will be declared a free man. So I'll be back probably in an hour, exactly in an hour. Hopefully, I'm trying to gauge the time by which court proceedings will go. I will still give you commentaries, written commentaries of what is transpiring in court, but we will back live on air when we can be joined with Bob Keita and the team in Banjul and everyone else, and that are right there at the High Court of the Gambia in Banjul. So thank you very much, and I'll see you back in an hour. Thank you.
Gambia with Tamala, the fi Amamut Fenen. Sama mam that I'm one Jamareka war. When you polo don't bena can do your mona dara. Reo me soon you reula and yepa and the joke. Jama sasa sunyu reu sapante te japante moi sunyu waref burialenyo gelenyare nasama sunyu digante nyepa mangu te dono ben lolu la fe mami by you born nyepa mangu te dono ben gijamu Gambia.
Jotali makas bilel tanghal masindal biwai bonyi be nga nuyul masa papa wai oyal ma aji wako mata nena awane ñu magal tobaski ji wai genaaw elek noel su passé ba ñu tek ci ñaari semaine sang marila tam lolu lañ fi xam ben baat lolu lañu am juróom ñaari nit ci ben bool lolu lañu xam arjodo ga tambi nang nuyul masa papa ankira jam bul ma jam jama lañ fi am amut hette amut diine lolu lañ fi bayyi won dama ne lolu lañ fi bayyi won
When you polo don't bena and do you moon Kasama sunya digante. Nyep mang kuti dono ben lolu la fi mami bayi bon. Nyep mang kuti dono ben ngir jamu Gambia. Nyulenyan, jama sasa sunya reu. Sopante te japante, moi sunya waref. We are new, Yelenyan, Nasama sunya digante. Nyepamang kuti dono ben lolu la fi mami bayi bon. Nyepamang kuti dono ben ngir jamu Gambia.